Hi, this is Trevor Emdon from wizardofwisdom.com, where you can get yourself a free 5-minute impossible problem fixer. Impossible problem fixer. There'll be a link below this video. Today's topic is, does the law of attraction work? Okay, I've spent a lot of years studying, experimenting with, believing in, disbelieving in, playing with, begging the law of attraction to work, or sometimes dismissing it and going, yeah, but it doesn't work. Okay, so I've finally arrived, I think it's finally, at a point that makes sense to me, and I do have, at least in my mind, a clear answer to the question, does the law of attraction work? So, let me tell you a story. Many years ago, I think I was probably in my late 20s, my dad, my now dear departed dad, took me, or we shared, a driving holiday across France and Spain. And what he'd done is he'd booked ahead some hotels for some days, and on other days we just had to find our own bed and breakfast or somewhere to stay in between. Okay, so we shared the driving, and I ended up doing the lion's share of it, which I didn't mind at all. So, but if we took a wrong turning or got lost somewhere, no sat navs in those days, no GPS system. This is all done by map reading, and we had a little compass in the car. But remember, we're driving on what for us is the wrong side of the road because we're British, and the Spanish drive on the right, and the French, and we had a right-hand drive car, right-hand drive car. So we're overtaking is difficult, that kind of thing, and the signs are not in a language that we understand, and the maps are not in a language that we understand. So it wasn't the easiest navigation process in the world. But anyway, most of the time we were fine. But now and again, we'd get lost. Now, I was very aware that this is a holiday. And so, but my dad was like, but now we're lost and we're going to lose time, and what if we don't make the hotel? And as it turned out, we made all of them. But I could see the steam would begin to rise in him. And we're in a small box, we're in a car, right? So we had to kind of get on. And so somehow I reached in for as much wisdom as I could muster, given my age and the relationship that we had, father and son. It wasn't always easy. And I tried to smooth things over by saying to him, Dad, we're on holiday. I'm sure we will get there, but if we don't, it doesn't really matter, because we'll get somewhere else. We'll get somewhere. We'll have an adventure. We're going to have an experience that we wouldn't have had if we just stayed at home. I don't think it really helped all that much, but it helped me to get a handle on it and my head around it. Now, that's true in life as well. We have these ideas that we want something, and it's like, well, if you don't get it, you'll get somewhere else. It's still going to have an experience that can be as interesting, potentially as enjoyable, and potentially, you must have had those experiences where you think you're going somewhere and then something happens that takes you in a different direction, and at the time you think it's, you're tearing your hair out about it, and then something happens that wouldn't have happened. Maybe you meet the love of your life, or you find the dream house that you would never have found if you hadn't gone down the wrong street or something. So those blessings in disguise, you know what I'm talking about. So that's the foundation of what I want to say about, does the law of attraction work? Because what's happened... Okay, now let's start from a different place. First of all, for the law of attraction, let's say that I want to attract a pen. Let's say I don't have this lovely pen and I want one, and I want to attract it. So I spend my time visualizing nice pens and seeing myself writing with it maybe, and I really, really, really want this pen. Now, what that presupposes is that the pen and I are separate, and physically, of course, we are. I'm not going to let it go because it will crash onto the computer, but we are separate. Physically, I'm not part of the pen, and the pen's not part of me. So there is this very strong, let's call it an illusion, that the outside world is out there, and there's an inner world in here which is lacking a pen. Now, the truth is, there isn't an outside world out there. The only experience I can ever actually have is of my inner world and my thoughts and the feelings that they generate and how I then interpret and react to those thoughts and feelings are all mine. So, yeah, the pen is out there. It isn't. It's not illusory. It's not a hallucination. There are physical objects that are not physically me, but nevertheless, the fact that I suddenly or somehow have a strong desire for a pen that's in me. The desire is in me. There are millions of pens out there. I don't know why I would need a pen with that much urgency. And if it's got to be that particular pen or that particular type of pen, like some people want, they want try and visualize Ferraris or Lamborghinis or whatever, when any car would actually get them around, right? So what they want is the feeling that they think a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or whatever it might be would give them. And that's the point. Because ultimately, when you're trying to use the law of attraction to attract a thing, whether that's a lover, maybe, or, relationship of some kind, or a tangible thing like a house or a car or a holiday or a pen or whatever it might be, what you are effectively doing is saying, I'm unhappy without that. So what you really want is happiness. And that is something you don't need to attract because it's already inside you. Now, that's hard for some of us to, and it has been for me at times in my life, to really get our heads around. Like, who, me? I'm not happy. You don't know what happened to me. Well, whatever happened to you, and I know that terrible things have happened to people. I'm not trying to make light of those. Bad things happened to me as well. I'm not comparing mine with yours. Yes, but yours was not as bad as mine, or mine was worse than yours. It's a crazy conversation anyway. We've all had experiences which at the time hurt. Nobody gets through life completely unhurt. That would be, it would be impossible, I think, but also I don't actually think it would be desirable. And that doesn't mean I'm saying that pain or being hurt is a good thing either. I'm just saying it happens. There is no such thing as a completely flat, straight road with perfect driving conditions for thousands and thousands and thousands of miles. Life is quite a long journey. And the twists and the turns and the lumps and the bumps and the storms that come and so on, actually, they make life interesting. Life would be really, really dull if you knew that absolutely everything was always going to turn out absolutely perfectly the way you want it to be every single time. So the key isn't in attracting stuff. The key is knowing that happiness is your default state and you can always access it in a heartbeat. You can. So I'm aware that I don't want to make this video too long, but what I want to show you is where that is. Now, you'll have to experiment with this on your own because we're already nearly at 10 minutes on this video, right? So, and the Impossible Problem Fixer, by the way, if you get that, go to wizardofwisdom.com, get that, because that's not about the law of attraction, but it will help you to access the state I'm going to talk about now. It's different to this, but it'll help you. So, what I want you to do is just notice your thoughts. Just notice them. Just for a couple of seconds. 5 seconds will do. No matter what they are. Just notice whatever you're thinking right now. Even if you're not sure what that is, just notice that. Now, what's interesting about that is that you can do that. I know it's not so easy when I just drop it on you like that and you're watching a video, so you're a bit distracted by me. But you can do that. You can, when this video ends, go away, you shut your eyes somewhere and just, for 10 seconds or so, just watch your thoughts. Now, what's interesting about that, to start with, is that there's a thinker who's thinking the thoughts, and there's a noticer, a watcher, who can watch the thoughts inside your head. Two of you, right? A thinker and a watcher. Who's the watcher? And if you watch your thoughts again and just get curious about, I wonder what my next thought will be, do that for a few seconds, and what you'll discover is that sometimes there'll be a thought, and sometimes there will be nothing. Now that's very interesting, because the nothing isn't nothing. Something's there, but it's not thought. Thought is like the clouds in the sky. If you've ever been on a flight in an airplane on a cloudy day, you get to the airport, get through check-in, get through boarding, all of that, get on the plane, it's cloudy, maybe drizzling. I live in England. It's always doing that. Excuse me. You get on the plane, and when it takes off, in 10, 20 seconds, I don't know how long it takes to get up there, once it's up, above the clouds, instantly there's the bright blue sky and the sunshine. It's always been there. Hey! And your thoughts are like that too. Behind them is this peace. Because what's in that gap, in that nothing, if you watch the gap next time that happens, watch your thoughts, see when they come. When they don't come, you're aware. You're still aware. You're awake. You're just waiting. Now, in that waiting is nothing. But it's peaceful in there. It's perfectly peaceful. And that state is always available to you. Now, it seems like we've drifted a long way from the law of attraction, but actually we haven't. Because all you're ever trying to attract is a better feeling state. If I had that, if I had love in my life, I don't know about the pen, but what do I want a pen for? Maybe I want to deliver a message. Well, there are lots of pens. Or maybe I could write it in some other way, or I get an email to someone, or send a text, or there are a million ways to communicate nowadays. But if in some way we're telling ourselves, if I had that in my life, I'd feel better than I do now. But the feeling better than you do now has always been available to you. It's like Dorothy's shoes in The Wizard of Oz. All she had to do was click her heels 3 times. There's no place like home, remember? That's it. You're home. And now, whatever happens, of course it would be nice to have the lover, the house, the Ferrari, the pen, whatever it is. Of course, it would be nice. But if you don't get there, you'll get somewhere else. You'll still have an experience. And if you allow that experience to be, well, it'll be whatever it is. And I can notice whatever thoughts and feelings come up about that. I can just notice them. Then by being the noticer, you're in bliss. You're at peace. That's where it is. Now, it takes a bit of practice. But it means that you're not going, I have to visualize. I'm not visualizing properly. I'm not doing it right. So, and the more you can be in that state, the more things that you want naturally show up anyway. And some things that you didn't really need, you just realize, I didn't really need that. I got where I wanted to be anyway. It's the letting go that makes it happen, not the holding on. Not the, I've got to make it work. I've got to visualize harder. I've got to visualize better. I've got to meditate more. No. Let go. And it will all come together. Hope that's helpful. Please, if you've enjoyed this video, share it around, put it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, wherever you like to post things like that. Subscribe to my channel. The link's in the description below, as well as the little button underneath the video if you're on YouTube. And please go to wizardofwisdom.com. The link is below, and pick yourself up a copy of the 5-Minute Impossible Problem Fixer. It's completely free, and I would love to see you there. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.